In July 2000, at age 26, I received an unexpected phone call after a routine annual physical that changed the course of my life. It still feels cloudy, and the words are a blur. A large ovarian tumor, emergency surgery. In an instant, my world turned upside down. Within a few days, I was in the hospital. My mom, dad, and brother had flown in from out of state and were in the waiting room. My mom fervently praying the rosary. The caring nurses and hospital staff who watched over me day and night. The meeting with the doctor after the surgery, my parents by my side, the words still a blur. The tumor was benign. We had to remove an ovary, fertility uncertain. I remember the long recovery, the large scar on my abdomen that remains, and still that web of care all around me, always expanding. Friends who put together a calendar and bought me dinner every night to support me in my healing journey. I poured myself into my work at the Children's Defense Fund to ensure health coverage for every child. I had personally experienced how health insurance and deep and genuine care had saved my life. I felt the maternal instinct, but wondered, will I ever be able to have a child? It was a scary time, but I remember having a deep sense of faith and trust at a young age that things would unfold the way they were meant to. A few years later, my now husband Jaime and I were in France. We felt a pull to visit Lourdes, a sanctuary and holy site in the Pyrenees Mountains, where the Blessed Mother Mary is believed to have appeared in the 1850s. Lourdes is a place of miracles. People gather from all over the world in search of healing. We lit a candle that we might be blessed with a child, a small flickering light, and a mix of feelings, faith and doubt, hope and anxiety. I remember seeing people who were sick, bathing in the healing waters, asking for miracles, praying fervently for healing. With stubborn hope and unshakable faith, we promised that if we were blessed with a child, we would return. A year later, we were married, and within a few months, we thought I might be pregnant. We took a pregnancy test. The directions on the package said that to wait for the results. The results immediately came back positive, so we thought the test kit must be flawed. We took 6 more tests, all positive. But then, in a few weeks, we had realized our worst fears. I thought my cycle had begun and that we had lost the baby. I remember going to Mass for the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and my husband Jaime had a dream that night of a dancing red bird who he believed was our child and just sensed that it wasn't over yet. We went to the doctor a few days later, and sure enough, I was already 4 months pregnant, past the first trimester. In August 2005, our beautiful daughter, Elena Victoria, was born. Named for her grandmothers from Italy and El Salvador, her name means light, victory, and she is a beacon of light and hope. Many years later, I found myself in a demanding leadership role with immense downward pressure and high levels of stress. With so many demands at work, I felt like I had no time or space to listen deeply to myself or others. I had drifted from my core values as a servant leader and my roots in child advocacy. I felt overwhelmed and lost, disconnected from my purpose. I longed to crack open daylight in my own life, to feel more connected. I remembered our promise to return to Lourdes. We returned to Lourdes in the summer of 2019, before the pandemic. I felt a pull to express our gratitude for our beautiful daughter and also to reconnect with my purpose. Maybe I was looking for a sign about the path I was to follow. We arrived in the evening after a long car ride from Barcelona through the Pyrenees Mountains. Our teenage daughter, now 14, was at first a little resistant after the long journey. But the minute we arrived to the grounds and the sanctuary, she was hypnotized by the candlelight procession. We started walking. We each held candles, joining with people from all over the world, a sea of light. And then something strange started happening. It was beautiful and uncanny. People started gathering around me, asking for my light. There was a group of Spanish nuns all dressed in white. One woman came running up to me with a look of utter playfulness and delight, with a huge smile like she was waiting for me. She wore a name tag, Carmen, and asked in Spanish, "Can I have some of your candlelight?" My heart felt overflowing with joy and gratitude. All around me, I felt surrounded by an illuminated web of light, a deep sense of peace that surpasses all understanding, a sense of interconnection, and being held kindly with great love. I felt that my journey had come full circle and that a path was being laid for me. In summer 2000, I had been the recipient of care that I needed to survive. Nearly 20 years later, I felt called to extend the web of care, to be a light for others, as so many had been for me. I did return to my roots in child advocacy. I pursued doctoral studies in education and in partnering with school districts to build systems of care and strengthen family and community engagement to empower our youth to thrive. A maternal instinct, to light a candle, to walk out on faith, to join with others, to extend the web of care. Thank you.